Good morning, everybody. This is Mornings and Live with Keith, John, and Friends, your live morning show with a little bit of technical difficulties here during the live experience, but that's why we go live. We go live here every single day, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Good morning, nation. Yeah, we don't do the podcast thing. We do it live, and then we go on demand a little bit later here today here. So, hey, Jimmy, let's bring in Marty. No, yeah, there we go. Let's bring Marty in while I'm getting this stuff sorted out here this morning. And we're going to have some fun here getting after it. Good morning, Mr. Marty. How are you, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just sweaty face, figuring out my technical stuff. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm just making sure. You know, you got the technical difficulties. It might rub off on me. So
this is true. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. So it was all going good until a few minutes into the show. And then I was like, oh, I think I got 8,000 browsers open. And next thing you know, my audio was a little messed up. So, hey, what's shaking today? Hey, we were texting before the show. I got kicked off Sora yesterday.
That's crazy, man. You must have been on there just being the weird, what does Johnny call you? The little
crazy little son of a bitch or something? Yeah.
Crazy little son of a bitch.
Dude, I was just generating. And next thing you know, I got the old, you have been making too many videos. You've made over 100 videos today. We are shutting you out. So like it said, please come back later. I'm like, well, what the fuck does later mean? So, oh, by the way, guys, this is an R-rated experience. If we got some kids around, we might offend you. Yeah. So Marty, I sat back, came back a few hours later, still didn't let me back in. So like, okay, I guess this is how it's going to work. Yeah.
So you're going to try it today, right?
I'm going to try it. So it worked this morning, but I think I had one left in the queue, so it did work. But okay, cool. I just moved my creativity over to Grok and to Meta AI, and then to Veo.
Check that out, man, because I got Grok, so I got to check that out.
Grok is unbelievable, man. Grok is very fucking cool, man. It's very, very cool. Jimmy, I see the big dog is in here. Let's bring the big dog in while I get myself sorted out.
Did you get a chance to see the fitness detective? See Marty fit?
I did not. No, I gotta check the dude out.
Check it out, bro. It's fucking hilarious.
I love it. Johnny enters the room with the big belch. Good morning, brother.
What's up, brother?
You know, we're just sorting shit out here this morning.
I slept so fucking hard last night.
We could tell.
I had a dream. I had a dream that I did what you did. I had a dream that it was fucking light outside. Which is like 6:30. I'm like, oh fuck, I missed the whole goddamn thing.
Well, you know what, Anderson? It's funny you say that, brother. I was in bed a full 90 minutes last night. I was like, I'm not fucking having today happen. Johnny, I was in bed before 8 o'clock last night because I was like, I am not gonna let it happen. So it was a dumb shit conversation, right? You know the ones you have. Like, okay, I was a dumb shit last night. I'm not being a dumb shit again today. I went to bed. And that's just what it was. And I got up this morning, refreshed, feeling good. But Marty, man, I fucking overslept an hour yesterday, brother. An hour.
Probably needed it.
Apparently, my body was like, you need the extra hour. My body woke up actually 1 hour exactly later than normal. I was panicking yesterday morning. So, John, when you got up this morning, I was like, holy fuck, man, I never want to sleep through this thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I was sleeping so hard, man. Yeah, yesterday was a fucking nightmare. Holy shit. I thought I was sick. I think I was just really, really run down.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I broke out every trick in the book trying to get myself to bounce back. And it just almost seemed like the more I tried, the worse it got. And then right before bed, I was like, I'm just so tired. I was like, almost, you kind of don't care, you know?
Yes.
And that was almost the best thing because at that point I had a full release. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens. And I slept so hard. I think that pulled me back totally. I mean, I'm like two different people yesterday and today.
Oh, 100%. We can tell. Well, I know when you're dragging your ass. It's funny because when you get off the show, me and Jimmy know. We're like, oh, Johnny was tired today. We're all the same. I'm the same way. We all go through the same shit, right?
And the best part about it is, you know, it's part of what I stress was my family showing up. My oldest daughter, her husband, and the grandbaby showing up today.
Dude,
I was like, fuck, man, I'm going to be a train wreck for the fucking weekend. My family, this is bullshit, you know?
Good for that. That's pretty cool that they showed up, eh? Did you know they were coming?
No, they're coming today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty awesome.
They're staying until Tuesday. So yeah, that's why we came home from Mexico.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. So, so you have a full house this weekend then?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Nicely done. Hey, Jimmy, pull me off stage. Let these boys get out for a couple minutes while I get myself sorted out here, if you don't mind, Jimmy.
Marty, I've been dying to know about your new business. Talk to me, brother.
Oh, it's going pretty good, man. I just, I do the social media thing myself. So I'm always posting. I'm always looking at the new trends. And so people struggle to get their content online. And so that's what created the idea. So I just been, going to people's accounts, posting for them, answering some DMs, comments, hashtags, captions, and then pretty much just creating a strategy for them to monetize their following.
Oh,
Or,
okay. So
sell their
you're
service.
actually gotcha. So you're actually creating a service that you do the service for them.
Yeah, something like that.
You're not
I mean,
really advising them. You're saying, look, I'm going to do it for you.
Well, I wanted to move to like I guess like an advising role or a consultant type of role, but I'm
Well, brother,
building it
here,
now. So
no, I
I'm
was going
doing
to
the
say
work.
this is beautiful because I thought you were doing that to begin with. But check this out. Here, I love talking business. So here's what you do. You're already doing this part. Well, at some point, you can get some really good people that follow you. Like, Keith has hooked me up with a really, and the best part is you can hire a couple of people from, countries that do really good work, and you can change their life with like $3 an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They can do the stuff that you're talking about right now. You got to teach them, of course. But then all you got to do is have a team meeting so they know what's going on. But then you can take the advisor role so you have both layers in this business. That's fucking
exactly
beautiful,
what I want
brother.
to do. Yeah, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm learning
Keith
from
and I are
y'all.
here for you, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, no,
I'm
definitely.
loving it. I've been watching. So it's awesome, Johnny, because we've been watching Marty's journey, and I just love seeing progress, man. There's nothing more exciting and encouraging than see somebody hit a level, get progress. Hey, Jimmy, I don't think I'm on the other one there, Jim, or maybe I am. I'm not sure, unless I'm just out of focus.
Yeah,
But
you
one
are.
thing, Marta, I want to drive home, brother. One thing I want to drive home, and I think it's a mindset. I was the same way. You need to think of yourself as like a captain or a leader. That makes sense. A director, like you said, advisor. Start thinking yourself that way, because like when I was starting off, I had all the roles. So I was doing the shit. I was doing this. When really what you want to do is find the people that you can work under you that will do the kind of the, forgive the term, grunt work. You got to teach them, but just really start getting your mind in the fact that, you're the captain of the ship. You got a crew.
You know what? I got to tell you something. I had an awesome conversation with the team over the last couple of days, and we were just talking about how and this segues, Marty, what you're doing right now. We were talking about how the world's moving so fast, where skills need to be leveling up. So, for example, if we all remember 20 years ago or some odd years ago, when we all got introduced to Microsoft Word, it was like, over time there was an expectation. You knew how to use it. You knew how to bold something. You know how to increase a font. You just knew how to use these basic tools. Well, I was talking with the team over the last couple of days that, the bar keeps moving, that the expectations keep moving of what you're able to do. So I was challenging the crew. Well, fuck, I show up this morning and Jimmy runs the opener. The guy redoes the entire opener. He's got Uncle Keith inside of him. He's got a whole new video thing going on there. And he took the encouragement, Marty, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to run with it. And that is what you'll love when you encourage somebody. But here's what it is. And here's where I think my opinion anyways, I believe most leaders get it wrong, is they don't encourage their team to fail.
So 100%, brother.
I said, I'm going to be more pissed off at you guys if you don't try to fail. If you sit back and just kind of accept the status quo and then just, John, we kind of talked about it yesterday, ask Keith for help, because Keith will help and Keith will always help. Eventually, I'm going to be like, well, fuck, man, no, I want you to go fall off the cliff, because you're not going to die. I'm either A, going to catch you, or B, I'm going to support you when you get up off the ground and help you get after it. Jimmy says to me last night, he says, Keith, thanks for giving me the courage. I fucking love that word courage, because as a leader, we got to give our colleagues courage to fail, Johnny.
And to a certain extent, that's safety.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, the safety.
Because literally, like, I had one of my guys and he just works like a fucking dog. And I started noticing he was making some mistakes. And I was like, So I had to confront him, like, what's going on, dude? I said, look, I don't want to take anything from you, but I told you from the jump, I was a little worried that you were working too much. But he's like, this is just how we do it over here.
Yes.
And I said, okay, well, I've encouraged you to, to basically, if you see something that you think can work better, try it, kind of like what you're talking about.
Yes.
Given that, but anyway, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that he had gotten himself so tired, right? So he got himself so tired, and then he had a death in an extended family. So I said to him, I said, look, dude, I said, okay. I said, because he was afraid for his job. That was the problem. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, that's
And
my
so I
experience.
said, look, dude, I'm
Yes.
not going to take anything from you. This is what I'm going to do. For the next 7 days, I'm going to pay you 3 hours to sleep. You need to catch up. So as a leader, when you show that empathy and you say, look, I see you're in a tough spot. And he didn't tell me. It's not like he came and bitched. I had to ask him what was going on.
Yes.
And he was very apologetic, as I've made you're right. I've made these couple of simple mistakes. This is not me trying something new. So when you show them that you care, you show them you're going to take care of them. That's another side of giving them the security to feel like they can step out a little bit, What
I'm going to say is so obvious, although I still think, Johnny, many leaders forget this, and Marty, please hear me clearly. In my experience, nobody's ever gotten up working with me or for me to say, oh, you know what? I'm going to get up today and I'm going to fuck up everything Billis is doing. I'm going to go and wreck his business. I'm going to go and get up and just be duplicit the entire day, and I'm never going to go and work on hard things. That's not my experience with humans. Most humans want to do good. There's a reason why something's not working, to your point, John. So why they're not sleeping. There's a reason why.
Yep.
Right? So
and on that level too, since obviously we have this wonderful conversation, Marty, learning from this.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm a huge believer of, as you guys will be surprised about this one, is systems.
Oh yeah.
When you have a system, you say, look, your security to start off this job is one simple thing. Because especially when you get I love the Filipinos that work for us. They work so hard and they're
awesome.
Great people.
Yes.
They're also, they're making, we've changed their class of living because we're paying them so much more. It's very cheap to us, but it's so much more to them, and so they're really concerned with keeping their job, which I get, you know what I mean? And so I say, look, your security in this job has to do with one simple thing. You follow this system. If something goes wrong, it's the system's fault. And that makes them feel like, oh, okay, goodness, I've got some structure. I've got some, then once they get good with that, then I come in and say, look, if you see something in the system that you think can be better, try. And if it goes wrong, you just let me know. I was trying to improve the system. So that's kind of my way of getting them into that spot that you're talking about, Keith.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing more fulfilling, like I said. And the same thing's happened with Melissa. Johnny, when Melissa joined the team a while back, she was quite nervous about AI and quite nervous about walking towards the world, maybe similar to yourself, very analog-ish, but an artist, a creator. And I just kept encouraging. And now you're seeing this incredible output. Sterling and Preston and Sophia Grant and Maya. And it's empowering, it's leading, it's encouraging, it's giving a safe space for somebody to fail. And encouraging failure. It's what it is. And it's what we, I think, need to do as parents for our children. It's what we as bosses, and John, Marty, I've been around enough bosses who did not encourage failure. And I'm like, okay, well, that's that. I want to be around somebody who's encouraged me to fail, because if I'm failing, I'm showing him that I'm trying, and I'm showing him that I'm wanting to learn being the key words.
If you're failing, you are succeeding.
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
You can't separate the two.
No, you absolutely can't.
It's impossible.
100%. Caleb Matthews joining us here in a few moments. The guy, Marty, the guy read the IKEA instructions, Marty. It looks like he's getting himself into the green room. So motivational speaker. John, he's a dream interpreter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, before we get going, I just want to let you know that I connected with Sullivan and we're getting to move in the right direction.
Nice. All right. Because we got Sullivan in the comments. We got Hollywood. We got Bernard. Morning, guys. I was during my technical challenges this morning. Did not get a chance to wish everybody good morning this morning. Good morning. Good time. I know you're out there as well. Good morning, Lady Drew. It's funny because Lady Drew, one moment is telling us she loves us. The second moment, Lady Drew is telling us she doesn't love us. So, Lady Drew, if you're out there, we love you. Anyways, coming up, Marty, what's going on today, brother? What's going on in your world today, Mr. Marty? I know you got to rock and roll out of here, so I want to catch a few minutes with you, pal. What's going on?
Now, I did want to add to this conversation.
Please,
please, brother. Please. I was going to say, I love it when you bring your perspectives in, brother, because we'd love to shed light, but when the way you upload and interpret stuff is really important to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like having a coach. I've had coaches where I was scared to make a mistake in the game.
Yes.
And I'm not getting better like this. So, like, who cares if you get a turnover? But if you got a coach that's going to take you out every time you get a turnover, or just, not coach you, but come at you negatively every time you make a mistake, you're just not going to progress like that, So it's kind of the same thing.
It's interesting, Marty, to hear you say that, Let's talk sports for a moment. I've been thinking about this because some coaches, whether it's hockey, football, basketball, baseball, there's maybe they're older in their career, and they don't have patience for the young guy who's wanting to learn because he just wants to win the championship, right, Marty? And it's kind of funny how there are some of those coaches that are like, nah, I'm not going to be the coach that's going to give Marty the safety. I want to win the championship today. So I you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I find that fascinating where there are some coaches, as you know, that, we had a coach here in Winnipeg coaching the Jets for the longest time that would not play the young Martys because he's like, no, I want to go with the vet who's going to help me. I don't got time to enable him to make mistakes. I don't,
because he knows he's only got a year contract.
Yeah, I don't think there's a place for that. It's true, John. You're absolutely right. But I don't think there's a place for that in business. I don't, because I think that the strong. Here it is, Johnny. The stronger you keep your bullpen, the stronger your future is, because you can always put that next person up. Always next person up, right?
That's when you deal with like the Jets guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's because his motivation is very singular.
That's exactly correct. You're bang on, brother. You're bang on. You're absolutely right. So
yeah, if they gave him 5 years, said, look, we're going to give you a couple of years to you might sag a little bit, but once you rebuild this, he'd be going differently. But you can understand his position. The owners say, look, you've got a year to turn this around. And you're out of here. What can he do?
That's exactly it. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. Hey, Marty, what do I got going on today, brother? What's happening in your world today? I know you got to rock and roll, so I want to catch up for a few minutes. What do you got going on?
You good, man. I got another session, just content, podcast. That's about it. I think I don't have anything interesting this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to be creating. I'm excited. I was busy driving around Saskatchewan last weekend, so I'm going to sit back and do some creating and getting ready for next week, and just a ton of exciting things happening behind the scenes. I feel like finally my vision for what I've been trying to build has been really coming to light here in the last couple of months with some of the new video tools. And my vision was to create a network, a 24-hour live network, right, starting in the mornings, and now it's coming to life. Right, we got these live. Like video, like my ability to create video. Like Marty, I dropped that video this morning with the Who Is Keith things. Like just the creativity that we're going to be able to bring to life is super exciting to me, man. Super exciting.
I got a quick question, Marty.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I got nothing exciting this weekend.
Nothing exciting, man. Just
is your new business not exciing? Fuck, I'm excited.
Okay. All right. Nothing new. Let me rephrase that.
Well, but wait a minute. Your businesses should be constantly new. Reframe that, baby. Reframe that shit. Okay. Because when you program your mind to always be looking forward to that business becoming new or becoming exciting or interesting, dude, you live in a different world.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right.
And it's just a mental framework, brother. I'm not busting you up. I'm excited for it because I remember being where you are, where I branched out into a couple of ventures. And it's like, holy shit, like you're like at the infancy of this like play. It's like you're like that seed and you finally got that little green sprout and you're just not used to being above the surface yet. You know what I mean?
It's an interesting point of view, actually, when Johnny reframes it that way, because he's helped reframe my word around hating. So I know you love your shit, Marty. We should let's catch up this weekend, bro. Let's plan on catching up. But I had to put myself to bed last night because I was so excited about creating stuff. But then when Sora said I couldn't create anymore, I'm like, okay, I'll go to bed.
That was your sign right there.
I got one thing, Mark, that I would, and Keith, you can jump in on this too. You know, with where you are with two businesses, and clearly this is your entrepreneur journey. Well, actually, in essence, you got three because you got your clothing too, right? Mm-hmm. I think it would be time for you to get somebody that you pay. It would cost you less than $10 a day, and you get somebody on board that can work and do stuff for you. It'll cost you, and you can cap it out. Say, look, you know, I'm gonna pay. It's what, and they'll work every day if you want them to. But even if you Monday through Friday, that's $200 a month. The shit that can get done for you for $200 will allow you to propel yourself forward so fucking fast. It's like if you're like in the pros when they're shooting the fucking threes and shit, or even in the high level fucking NC2A, I'm sure somebody's fucking kicking the ball back to them so they can take more shots.
Yeah, you're right.
You need that ball. You need that person that's going to return the ball. That makes sense. So you could just sit in your spot and go.
What's up, Cheek Bait? I see you out there. I see your comments. I was looking at one camera, didn't see the other one. Marty, Johnny, we got Chic Bait here. Chic Bait found our channel a couple days ago. You guys had left, and she came back And she's like, I got to meet John and Marty. So Marty, before you go, say hello to Chic Bait.
What's up, Chic Bait?
I must be on the wrong screen. She's almost on the vertical.
On the horizontal.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Chic Bait sent me a text too. So
Is it chick or chick?
Well, I don't know if it's chick bait or cheek bait or
Keith reading in Canadian. Keith don't read what we read, Johnny.
I was waiting for Marty.
Yeah, very true. Mom. My mom.
My mom.
But Keith, what do you think about urging Marty to get an assistant?
So I'm all over that 100%. So I will say
$200 a month, brother. It'll allow you to take more of the important shots.
Here's the biggest challenge. I want to. So yes, I agree 1,000%. But here's the other reality though. And John, maybe you've experienced it. Maybe you've been able to delegate the experience of it. Marty, in my experience with finding somebody though, you have to be prepared to be able to explain what you want them to do. So for example, here's the best example, right?
Systems in place, baby.
Hey Marty, I'm going to hire you to make my pizza. Okay, Keith, how do you make the pizza? I don't fucking know, man. I'm just still figuring it out. Okay. Right, because I had been through that. So Rahima, who's working with us now, there was a while there where I didn't have much for her to do. She's like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, I'm not really sure because I don't got much to give you yet. Right, so I made a mistake by bringing somebody aboard where I had stuff, but I really wasn't able to explain. It's back to the kitchen, right? Hey, I want you to make this pasta dish, but I really don't know how to make the pasta dish yet. So how can I?
Hold on, what was that? Is that like cheek? A pasta dish? Is that what it was? A pasta?
What I just say? I just told you.
Fuck, man.
You guys.
Jesus Christ. Well, Mark, what Keith is saying is so true. So which demonstrates even more, get these fucking systems in place because then you can just plug and play. This first guy might do so well. He steps up. You bring another one in, plug him into that system.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Marty, Mike McQuillan's got some help for you as well. So the whole community's come to life here on a Friday. Good morning, everybody. We get the whole channel hopping here. Hey, Petrocelli, I put you on top of the pyramid with me this morning on Sora. Go have a look if you haven't seen it yet. And Sora, Marty, Petrocelli's following you there as well. Keith Bait, Chick Bait. Yes, we're all here. Hire a bookkeeper. We got Caleb Matthews joining us here in a couple of moments. Hey, Jimmy, is Caleb ready to go here? We're having such a good party over here that we kind of forgot we had a dream catcher guest coming in here. Jimmy, let me know when Caleb's ready to rock and roll. We'll bring him here into the lab. I want to help everyone here. Let me know how I can. He's good to go. Okay, good. We'll bring in Caleb Matthews here in a couple minutes before we let Marty get the hell out of here.
Real quick, brothers. Do you ever have one of those fucking like today's one of those days?
Fun.
Yesterday was a little weird. I didn't really know what happened, but it's over. But I can still smell it. Whatever it was, still coming out of me. God damn it! That doesn't even smell like me.
The hell was?
You never have those?
I'm still trying to understand, Johnny.
You got to be in tune with everything. You know, smells. It's like you figure like smells to me almost have colors. That makes sense.
I washed yesterday off of me, man.
What's that?
I washed yesterday off of me, man.
I washed yesterday off.
Well, I washed yesterday too, but it's just when your body's going through something. A lot of times there's some weird chemical shit that it's whether it was my body was getting rid of who fucking knows toxicity or I was not feeling well, and so like
I see what you're saying now.
Like I swear I was just pissing out my ass yesterday too. So my body was getting rid of something, and I still got the tail end of it coming up my. Funny enough. Only my right armpit.
I'm glad to know that.
Well, I put this up like this to get my smoke, and I was like, what the fuck's that smell? I was like, Jesus Christ, that's me.
I'm glad it's
getting out of you.
Marty, it's you. Before we let you go, Marty, it's actually night and day on this show when John sleeps or doesn't sleep.
Yeah. It is.
It absolutely is. Yeah. If he sleeps, the show has a different volume. If he doesn't sleep, there's no volume. It's just fucking Bill is carrying the cart along the way. Marty, you have yourself an awesome weekend, brother. Lots of love from me to you. You know that. You have a great weekend. I always love hanging out with you this morning. A lot of laughter here.
Mark, fucking A, I gotta say, great to see it. God damn it. I am fucking fired up for your journey starting. You're just getting out of the gate. And I was thinking about it's like, fuck, I remember that. It's like, and you're going to get to that here pretty soon. It's just going to fucking, like I said, that little green sprout's going to also have a fucking flower. And then another one. What the fuck is going on here? This is what it's all about.
Appreciate that, guys.
Yeah. And then you got Marty. You got Mike McQuillan offering help as well. So if you want to go knock on Mike's door there in LinkedIn, he'll offer you some help. And Chic Bait is also offering some help as well somewhere along the way.
Appreciate you, Chic.
What the hell that's all about. And John Petrocelli as well. Marty, you have yourself a good one. Hey guys, picture this: a 6-year-old kid having such vivid dreams that his homeschooling parents literally added dream interpretation to his curriculum. Coming up, Caleb Matthews. Jimmy, let's run the opener and bring the young man into the lab.
Remember that time you woke up from a dream that felt like riddle with hidden meaning? Well, what if you weren't wrong? Today, we've got a spiritual strategist, dream interpreter, and motivational speaker in the lab. He's helping leaders decode their dreams so they can make better life and business decisions. Caleb Matthews started having vivid dreams at 6, and instead of ignoring or fearing it, he leaned in and embraced it with curiosity. At 18, he stepped on stage and hasn't stopped in over 2 decades. Caleb has studied Hebraic dream interpretation and built a framework people can trust and apply to get real results. Whether it's Bible colleges, New Age festivals, or corporate boardrooms, he speaks fluently in all rooms without losing substance. For entrepreneurs and creatives in between seasons, he turns confusion into clear, confident next steps. His core belief is simple: spirituality and strategy are partners. He helps people turn purpose into plans and plans into action. Caleb equips leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries to live with clarity, purpose, and confidence. If you're spiritually aware but fed up with motivational fluff and want deep transformation for life, Caleb offers grounded guidance. Caleb, welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends.
Grant, hey Johnny, am I allowed?
Is that a new one? Is that a new one?
Am I allowed to comment on our new AI co-host, Sophia Grant? Because she's a fucking smoke show. Oh yeah.
Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. I'm going to just leave it at that.
So if she was real, would I have offended the HR people? Oh, but she is real. Sophia, welcome.
Well, I don't know. Fuck, man. Looks, I offended the gay boys.
Well, hey, we're off to. We are equal.
And I say that with love. They're my gay brothers.
We are equal opportunity offenders here. So if Sophia Grant.
Listen, the gay brothers and I are lovers everywhere but the sack.
Today's conversation, he just might be leaving, actually.
You know, on that level, I should have said this story yesterday. I was so fucking tired. I had a buddy of mine that was gay, and we met actually at a submission grappling place.
Hold on. At a submission
grappling. It means you're rolling around with other dudes.
Yes.
And he told me in private, nobody really knew he was gay, but he was such a cool cat. We connected. And I was like, he's telling me, and I was like, it's all good, because a lot of times people want to know, or, is this okay? And I was like, dude, I don't fucking care. Are you kidding me? And then I started thinking, it's like, he seems to be pretty happy in my guard, which my guard is where I'm laying with my legs around him. And then I started giving him shit. I'm like, God damn it. What are you doing? Fight to get out of there, you weirdo. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. So when I created Sophia, Lauren looks at me, looks at Sophia. She goes, really? I go, what? Maybe a little attracted to brunettes that look like my wife.
I was gonna say it looks a lot like Lauren. That's a compliment.
All right, listen, today's conversation.
Lauren, if you're listening, that chick's not as in good a shape as you.
Listen, I may have been late because I was out there just checking out the squats happening on the other side of the wall there. I don't know. Anyways, hey, listen, today's conversation is about to get.
Let's get Caleb in here. Shit, man, come on.
Guy in here. What the hell? What's going on?
Jesus Christ.
What's going on, John? Keith, what's going on, fellas? How's it going?
Love the fucking 18-year-old just fucking coming out of the gate swinging. That's fucking beautiful, brother.
Woo, baby.
Yeah. You gotta come out swinging in life, otherwise, what you doing, right?
Caleb, where are you joining us from today, brother? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm calling from Canada, Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. I'm a little bit up the I-5 from Seattle, still celebrating the Blue Jays victory last night over the Mariners. So sorry, guys, any Americans listening to the podcast, many Americans. We definitely took it to you the last 2 games, but it's a good series.
So I'm gonna drop something over to you, which is gonna offer an instant connection to me. You're gonna go, oh, I went to Okanagan University College, just up the road.
That is a small world, my friend. Small world.
Right. Yeah. So I'm here in Winnipeg, Canada, brother. I'm just up the Trans-Canada Highway from you, just east down the road there. And I spent a year in Kelowna going to OUC. And then I was like, I need to go back to the prairies, and ended up back in the prairies here. So Caleb,
he had to go back to his farm because he missed all the inbreeding. No, he did. He lived on a farm where the uncles were playing with the third cousins, and they were all way too fucking connected.
You see, something happens here in a conversation whenever I bring dream interpretation in. Usually the conversations get weird, and I think that's the best possible.
You're in the right spot, brother. You're in the right spot. I'm in a great spot. I've been to some weird places, guys. I've been to some weird places.
Dude, so let's get right into dream interpretation. How did you not decide what let's just get right into it. Dream interpreter. What the hell does that mean, Caleb Matthews?
What does that mean? Well,
Johnny had a dream last night that he slept in today.
You had a dream you slept in today? Okay, well, maybe your subconscious is telling you just to get the heck out of bed and haul ass and get to work.
Well, it came because Keith overslept yesterday, slept past his alarm, and I wasn't feeling well yesterday. And I went to bed and I was in that mode of like, I'm so tired, I don't care. And so I had this dream where I woke up and it was fucking light outside, which means the show's over. And I have a perfect fucking track record. So to miss that track record would be like heartbreaking to me, because not only did I let myself down, but I let my partner down.
I'd be phoning John like a motherfucker. Don't worry, John. I'd be phoning you like a motherfucker, and you'd be like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah."
But even that would, to me, that's over the line.
I'm with you, man. I'm with him. So Caleb, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Sorry. So you dreamed that you slept in. That was the dream, essentially, John.
Well, I dreamt that I woke up and it was light outside. And my first
light outside.
Fuck.
And that
means I slept, because he came on yesterday and said I slept past my alarm. That's what triggered the dream. And if I woke up and it was light outside, it means I slept past my alarm, which meant if it's light outside, I missed the fucking show, which meant I fucking wrecked my 100% perfect.
Wrecked.
So John, what does spirituality mean to you? If you could define it.
That's a good question. I think spirituality, I think it has to do with like, it's deep down inside you. And I think it has to do, it's kind of a formulation of what you believe, who you are, but more importantly, how you act on this stuff. It's not just, because you could have a belief and really not practice, right? I think, your spirituality's got something to do. It's like, it's who you are, but are you actually, you can say that's who you are, but are you actually living that's who you are? Do you believe and actually carry, I guess you could say your day-to-day life? Like, how many Christians would call themselves very spiritual, but they hide behind, well, if I did it, God, why did God let me do it?
Yep.
Yeah. They would
no accountability.
Responsibility.
No accountability. Yeah.
Yep. That's a good answer, John. So what you're saying is spirituality.
But the biggest, I would say, the belief. I think belief is because I always say you have to practice belief, and to have a like I believe, like my degree is major in theology, minor in philosophy. Can't say I remember a ton about it, but what it did is it kind of altered how I am, if you will. And so I think one of the first steps in that spirituality is to have a really strong belief, which then kind of leads to, in all these terms kind of weave together in my mind, but they're all kind of connected, if that makes sense. But I would love to hear an expert like you talk about it.
Sure. So just to understand clearly, you believe in an ability that's woven into what I call Messiah Link, the DNA of our design. Do you believe, John, in a creator God concept, or do you believe in energy? Are you polytheist? Like, what are your thoughts on that? And also, Keith, I'm going to ask you these questions as well, too.
Yeah.
I would say that because I went through different stages of belief, right? And then I think probably one of the things studying in college helped me to come to the point where, like, I don't use the word God or like something like that. I'm more of a universe. I believe in a plan. I believe in a higher power, but I don't really have a name. That's because I think that does it. I think that kind of takes away from the possibilities of what I'm supposed to be hearing, what I'm supposed to be. I'm getting messages constantly from the universe. And if I'm okay, well, it's God, and maybe I'm missing something because I'm too narrow with that belief, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
It's like I got these antennas up, and I want those antennas as high as I can get them. And I feel like when I believe in the higher power, and I call it the universe, my antennas are the highest.
Guys, I see your questions there in the comments for Caleb. I'll get to them in a couple minutes here, guys. I see your questions. Sheik, Rahima, a few of you guys out there. I see the questions. We'll get to them in a few moments for our guest, Caleb Matthews. You're talking dream interpretation. Caleb, I'm just going to quickly jump in. I'm going to make an assumption here that if I'm thinking out loud that because John's values / beliefs are so strong about not missing his appointment, like his commitment, which is why he dreamt about it. Would that be a fair interpretation of mine? Because it's a value he holds. His brain was like, oh no, it's a value, it's a value, it's a value. You're dreaming about it. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that could be one layer for sure. And I like to say within dream interpretation, like an onion, it's an analogy that I love to use. There are many different layers.
Peeling back
like
those
onion.
layers.
You peel back the layers. And so what I'm about to offer here is Caleb Matthews' perspective from my Hebraic dream interpretation method with John.
You said Hebraic?
Hebraic ancient dream interpretation method.
Okay.
And this is my perspective, but the reason why I asked the question for the audience that's listening live right now, I always like to ask, what does spirituality mean to somebody? Because
I got to say, that must be a hard question for people to answer.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a tough one. Between all places I've been across the world the last 20 years to different corporate events, New Age fairs, Bible colleges, different spiritual environments, it's a very complex answer. But the reason why I ask that is because it gives me an understanding of what language to use, just A, so that I'm hitting the points that need to be hit on, but B is that I'm not hitting on points that create triggers or barriers between that level of trust I can speak
Holy
to.
Shit.
And John, what I see there within your dream is that your higher power is encouraging you for an awakening of your three-part being, your spirit, your soul, and your body, to awaken and not miss those moments of the rising of the dawn that are coming in your life that are waiting for you. So it's more or less encouraging of not necessarily, oh, it's bad that you slept in, but it's an awakening.
It's a bigger picture thing.
Wake up to this bigger picture that's going on in your life. But that's what I see, John.
It's a symbol.
Yeah.
It's a symbol. Wow. That's awesome. Hey, Caleb. So what happens, Caleb, when I
thank you, brother. Thank you.
That's for sure.
So Caleb, what about myself? So I from time to time I will dream about my wife's buttocks.
Okay.
And I'm serious. So what does that mean to me? I'm attracted to my wife. I love my wife. I love how she works out.
And just so you get a real good take on this, let's just pretend, Caleb, that I didn't tell you he grew up on a farm where there was inbreeding. Let's just forget about that part.
let's pretend I didn't. That context is away.
Thank you. Let's just pretend that we know for sure there's not a chromosome that's a little too close.
Well, now that you have the context, Caleb, I'm just giving you the shape. I'm giving you the context. What does that mean, Caleb Matthews, the dream interpreter?
Yeah. You got some booty context there for me.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
For me, this comes back to very, we're chuckling about this, but also practically, every dream there is some practicality, and that reminds us in this instance that there are three different sources where dreams come from. They can come from our own soul, our own mind, will, and emotions.
Yes.
They can come from creator, higher power, God, energy, source, spirit, whatever language is to attribute that to. Or the third source is it could come from other people's stuff, or from dark energy, or even from the adversary. Some of people will say the devil, or opposition in life. So there are three different sources where dreams come from. In this case, I would say if you're laser focused in on the butt and then you dream of the butt, it's probably coming from your own psyche and from your own soul, and you're projecting that. No different than if I watch like a horror movie before I go to bed.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like watching a scary movie.
Interesting. Yeah, you're putting that on your antenna. You're perpetuating that antenna, because we're all antennas. We're all walking antennas in this life.
And that's perfect, brother, because in my mentoring, I teach my clients to go into a state of gratitude as they're walking towards bed, lay down, and continue to let their brains go down the gratitude rabbit hole as they fall asleep. So it really, you're saying is that is truly a methodology.
Absolutely. What we focus on, we empower. What we look at will grow. If we focus on something long enough, it's going to grow.
I got a doozy question for you, brother, in terms of dreams. I've always wondered this, and I think I'm in. I mean, I guess when I hear your answer, it's going to be a lot of fun to hear. But it's like so I guess to sum it up, every time I'm working on a big goal. So like when I first came out of college, I was, never got a job. I never went to interviews. I just started businesses. So I would start a business and I would fucking dream about the business, right? And then I would have that success. Then like when I was working on getting my pro card and strongman, I dreamt about it to the point where I would wake up sometimes and go, Jesus Christ, I need to dream about something else. This is almost like, then I dreamed about, when I was becoming a pro wrestler, I dreamed about becoming a pro bodybuilder. Right now, I just started a peptide company and I'm fucking dreaming about peptides every fucking night. And so I guess what it comes down to is when I'm really engulfed and focused, and I feel like what it is that when I'm dreaming about something, it's because I'm giving all of me to it. Yeah. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. No, I definitely could appreciate that. Thank you for the question. I would say it really depends on the context. I always say and encourage people who are looking for analysis tips on decoding their dreams is to take a step back. Oh, so for John, for Keith, for all of us, and for myself included, talking to myself and the audience, if we're looking at a dream or trying to analyze it, ask yourself the question, what is this a picture of? What is this allegory or metaphor or this story communicating to me? And start asking questions, why this and why not that? And so I would say within your context, John, that you're dreaming about a lot of these things that you're putting your passion, your heart into. It would depend on the context of what you specifically dreamed there, attached to the elements that would really dictate the pathway of the interpretation.
Well,
That's I always like to say, what is the picture of?
It's always positive, but I guess when I should have said that was a joke when I wake up and like, God, give me a break from this. It's almost like I'm focused when I'm awake. I'm focused when I'm asleep. But in actuality, I feel like once I start dreaming, it's like at that point, the universe has got me so hooked in. This is going to happen no matter what. I don't have a choice. My choices are over. Yeah, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like, okay, here we go again. This is where I'm supposed to be doing. All of the signals are telling me full speed ahead.
Yeah, it's aligned with the DNA of your design. That's exactly what I talk about in the See Link. It's like when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, whether in our waking hours or in our sleep hours, in our dreams, and we're walking in something that fills us with passion and purpose, then that is walking in the DNA of our design versus what I call con culture, because we live in a world of hustle con culture that says, John, Keith, Caleb, audience, in order to be successful, you got to put on this guy or this gal's armor and do it the way they do it 100%. Well, that's a counterfeit to what you and I are supposed to walk in, which is really our purpose. Because when Keith does his purpose, then he is fulfilling his purpose on the earth, and others are able to rise with Keith. When John, you're doing your purpose, but others can rise around you. And I'm doing my purpose. We get the drift, right? But if I try to be Keith, or John tries to be Caleb, or Caleb tries to be John, it's not going to work. We can learn from each other, but I can't put on your armor.
Con culture. I'm glad you brought that term up, Caleb. Caleb Matthews joining myself and John Anderson here this morning on Mornings Live with Keith, John, and friends. Coming up in a few moments, guys, never squash a cockroach. Yeah, true story. We're going to talk about it coming up in the second hour. Hey, Caleb, I'm going to offer something with lots of love first. I'm going to preface it with love, lots of love, nothing but love first.
Yeah.
How do I know all this isn't just bullshit? And what I'm saying to you is that how do I know that there's it just seems all fluffy and snake oil and it's all just empirical. Give me some evidence. Give me some evidence that what you talk about gives me confidence that there's truth to it. And here's why I ask. We have an awesome alumni of our lab. His name's Dr. John Petrocelli. He's a psychologist in bullshit. He's a bullshit professor. Right. And he's awesome. He comes about, he's on the show regularly. And we chat offline all the time. And we always talk about, what's true, what's fluffy, what's snake oil, what's empirical evidence. And Keith and John talk all the time about evidence. Give me evidence to show that it's working. Talk to us a little bit about evidence in the world of dreams and fluffery with dreams. Caleb Matthews.
Yes, absolutely, Keith. I gladly you asked the question. And first of all, that's nothing. I take that as nothing but love because we're supposed to debate and talk
Yes.
about these
Thank you.
things.
Yes.
In our world today, debate has been so lost,
I
especially what's
agree, brother.
happening.
Yes.
And I think we're supposed to gather around the city gate because that's what the ancients did in history. Let's talk about some evidence here. In history, in the ancient world, the men and women of the culture in those days would sit around the city gate and they would exchange ideas. They would exchange thoughts.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if people didn't agree, they'd shake hands, hug it out, do whatever, and walk their separate ways. They didn't.
I love you for that, brother. I
cut
love
each
you for
other's
that.
throats out for
Because
that.
we had a situation this week in the lab where somebody didn't agree with some of the things we were saying and they left. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not what we're supposed to have a discourse here, right? We're supposed to have a conversation. Yeah. So
let's have a healthy discourse. So evidence. Let's talk about some evidence here.
Please.
I'm all about evidence and bringing some practicality. Because one of the things that grieves me, because I work in the spiritual space, but I work from the spiritual to translate into the practical. And I think one of the things that's been so lost within dream interpretation is that a lot of people in the EGO space, I like to say eyes glazed over, is that they stay in that meditating on the clouds and don't really translate that to the practical. So here's some practical for you guys and for our listeners, for everybody listening in. And here's some scientific facts. You guys can look this up. Anyone can look this up after we're done. And that is, by the time that we reach 60 years of age, 60 years old, we'll have slept 1/3 of our life. So 20 years out of that 60 is spent sleeping in the dream state.
Oh, okay.
And that's for every single human being on this planet. Everybody, no respecter of persons, no matter what culture you're from, no matter what skin color you have, no matter what your sexuality is, like it doesn't matter. Like every single person, male and female, you're going to have 20 years out of that 60 where you're sleeping. So that's stage one of evidence there. Stage two of evidence would be using examples from history because we are students of history. Well, we should be students of history. And one of my favorite heroines that I learned about in homeschooling, that is somebody that has a lot of fame and recognition, but most people don't know her for this, is a great woman called Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman. And for those of you who are not familiar with Harriet Tubman from American history, she was a runaway slave that decided one day she was no longer going to be a slave. She was going to run. She was going to live free or die. That was what she said. And she ran all the way north to Pennsylvania and then to Canada, where me and Keith are at here right now, on the Underground Railroad. And through her story, when she was running, she would fall asleep and be hiding from her captors. And when she was falling asleep, she would have these dreams in the night season where she attributed them to God, where God would say, don't go there, because if you go to that house, they're going to be waiting for you to arrest you to bring you back. Go to that house, go over there, go over there. And she followed her dreams as a roadmap all the way to freedom. And history tells us that she took 12 to 13 expeditions back to the South, even after she was freed herself, to free over 200 to 300 slaves on her own. They called her Moses because
with that roadmap,
with that dream roadmap, her captors thought she was a man because they couldn't believe that a woman could do this on her own. Well, she wasn't really on her own. Her higher power was with her. God was with her. And she used her dreams as a roadmap. Most people in the history books in school will say, oh, somebody had hallucinations and she got lucky and then she made her way up north.
Dude, that's those antennas.
What happened.
That's the antennas I'm talking about.
That's the antennas.
100%. I think that's fucking, it's an amazing
That's
story.
a good question from Alyssa. Hey, good morning, everybody. You're hanging out with Keith and John and Caleb Matthews. Hey, Caleb, I got a quick question for you, brother. I know we had you for 30. We're at the top of the hour, though. What is your commitment like for time? Are you able to stick around for some extra time into the second hour? Or do you got to get out of here?
I can stick around for as long. I'm ready to go as long as you want.
Beautiful. So here's what we're going to do then. Johnny, let's do
I got one quick question before we go to my segment.
Yeah, let's do that, John. Let's do that, John. Exactly.
Your communication skills are fucking money, brother.
Yep, I agree.
Is that something that, did you actually get some sort of schooling or training, or is that something that just kind of came to you?
Well, I love that you asked that question. I started public speaking when I was 18 years old in Africa.
Yeah.
That's where I found my true passion. Like, I was homeschooled, and one of the great things about homeschooling was my mother decided one day that it would be a good idea for me and my father for us together to see the world beyond the bubble of North America. And we went to Africa, went to Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania. And at the age of 18, that's where I started to speak to my first public audiences in orphanages, Bible colleges, eventually open air crusades, radio to dozens, hundreds, and ultimately thousands. And on the radio, to millions of people after the 7 o'clock news. But that's where I found my passion to speak. I've been doing it for 20 years, traveling internationally. And
so this is self-taught.
This is self-taught through experience, but this is
yeah.
This is God breathing into my being. And because there's a scripture,
I love it, brother.
There's a scripture in the Bible, and I'm not getting religious here. I'm just saying there's a scripture in the Bible that says that they're unschooled, ordinary men, but the philosophers of the day took note that they had been with God.
Everything in my life that I'm good at is my own organic development. By not listening to the influences, I feel like I found a more efficient way to do what I do.
Yeah. And Caleb, I just want to offer something of encouragement you said, because I don't think you knew you said it, but I just want to offer some help for you for the future.
Yeah.
With love. You never, ever have to justify speaking about scripture or God or your beliefs. Ever. Please don't. Don't ever go into a conversation and say, oh, I'm going to talk about this, but I'm sorry. No, I don't like when people have to feel like they have to justify. It's who you are. It's what brings you to the table. It's why we love who you are. So I give you the encouragement to never have to feel like you have to justify, because what I've learned on this show, spirituality, scripture, a purpose is the number one thing for everyone. And if you're proud of it, please talk of it. Don't hide behind it.
For sure. And I appreciate that encouragement. I will say to that, I received that, but also I'll say that, in the terminology with religion, especially Christianity,
I know.
Much evils have been done in the name of religion. And I always like to diversify that. Like, I follow Jesus, but I don't follow.
Yeah,
I don't follow institutionalism.
Yes.
Yeah, you could turn off a lot of ears if you didn't present what you're saying properly. And your job is to keep ears open for your message.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. And I really, as we continue to develop this show, Caleb, and have great guests, I'm learning that Keith and John want to receive everybody as their whole, not just their part. And too many people, Caleb, just show their part. Right. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. If that's a big part of who you are, we want to know that about you, because that's why we love you, man. So that's awesome. A lot of great comments from the community. So guys, picture this: a 6-year-old kid having such vivid dreams that his homeschooling parents literally added dream interpretation. His name's Caleb Matthews. He's hanging out with us. He's going to come back in the second hour. But before that, we got a lifestyle tip with John Anderson. We're going to reset hour 2 and continue with Caleb Matthews.
All right. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Forgive me. Most of you guys are happy because you're not going to work tomorrow. And generally speaking, people are happy on Fridays. So the tip is this: you can actually make your happiness even better, more intense, whatever you want to call it. How? With a smile. Smile at people you don't know. Acknowledge people you don't know with a big smile, a sincere smile. They'll smile back. And when you're giving this positive energy, you start to attract more of it. Now, why am I saying to do this on a Friday? Because most of you guys have this because you're excited it's Friday. Monday, this might be a more difficult tip to pull off, but you could start with this whole thing on Fridays because it's more natural. And when you do this more, it'll become more of a habit. But I want you to remember this: we attract what we give. And if you're at this show, you're listening, you're trying to better your life in somehow, some way. And the law of attraction is very real. So when you start to give positivity, you're going to start receiving it. And if you can make this a part of your rhythm of life, it works. Trust me when I tell you. The law of attraction is very, very real. And for those of you that are just getting into trying to make this work, Friday may be the day for you to start trying, because it will naturally come to you and you'll find how easy it is to actually get those smiles back in return and do it to the next person. You can think of it paying it forward. You can think of it so many different ways, but just remember, you're doing something that's, from a selfish level, it's going to make you feel better. but you're also giving that positive vibe and that happiness to someone else. And if we could all live our lives like this a little bit more, we would live in a better world. If we live in a better world, we'd all be in a better place. We'd have better lives. And that's why we're here. We want to be happy. We want to have better lives. It all starts today with a smile. Rock and roll.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Morning to the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, and our guest, Caleb Matthews, today. Yes, what's going on, nation? We got the dream catcher here joining us all the way from Kelowna, Canada. Yeah, true story. We got Caleb here hanging out with us this morning on the big show, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, called Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Coming up, never squash a cockroach. What? Yeah, never squash a cockroach. Why? It's about responding or reacting. True story. And hey, family versus work, 2 rules that stop resentment for busy dads. We're going to talk about that later on in the show as well. Plus, come LinkedIn and YouTube. But right now, we've got Caleb Matthews. Caleb, I got a bunch of questions for you, brother, from the community. Let's start. Caleb, why do some people not remember their dreams at all? Because our lovely, awesome producer Melissa, one of my teammates here on the team here, says, I'm in that bucket. I have dreams, but I never remember them. What does that mean, Caleb Matthews? I think a lot of us have those. Let's talk about it, brother.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Why we don't remember our dreams. I would say there's many different elements at play. We do live busy lives as human beings. Yes. Busyness can get in the way. So when we wake up in the morning, maybe there's elements and pieces of, I think I dreamed, or I remember a few pieces, but then, I got to walk the dog. I got to, pay the bills. I got to go to work. And before we know it, our consciousness takes over our subconscious. And then we don't remember those dreams that we had. And then we get into like a culture state in our lives of busyness, where the first thing that we're thinking of subconsciously, even as we go to sleep or before we wake up, is, what do I have to do in my waking hours, versus actually remembering what I dreamed in my sleeping hours. And busyness can be one of those key factors that can be involved in not remembering our dreams. Another factor is not having a dream journal. You would be amazed, Keith. And I think your audience would be amazed at how many people say, I don't dream. I'm like, my first question I'll ask them is, do you keep a dream journal? And many people will say they don't. Well, if we're not going to have something to use to treasure those dreams with a container, then it's not going to tell our subconscious that we treasure them, and therefore we're not going to get more dreams because we don't treasure them. That's my theory. What do you think? I've
never thought about a dream journal because my brain's too busy thinking about something. I've never thought about a dream journal because I've often wanted to be the guy that has a notepad next to his bed with the pen and gets up and writes his shit down. It's never me. I just never seems to work for me. I get up and either it's in my head or it's not. I am intrigued by your explanation. I do have some questions though from the community I want to make sure we get to. We got Chic Bait coming in saying, what does dreaming of houses that change rooms mean with various people of your past in them?
I would say it's a house of thought, just to use it, a terminology. There's a house of thought that is coming from the person's family past, or maybe their spiritual lineage. Could be coming from just their cultural past or individual past. So the context, of course, would depend on that, but it's a house of thought within a construct, could be the dreamer themselves or within the family dynamic. There's a house of thought that their higher power is inviting them into, to explore those rooms and to do some inventory and see what houses of thought serve them and what doesn't serve them from the family dynamic. That's my first analysis, I would say, from that.
Yeah. Johnny, question?
Yeah, so I kind of touched on this earlier. When I really started to learn and kind of study how the brain works, and so when I use these numbers, they're very general, but we know that a person has roughly 100,000 thoughts. I think it's 80 or 90. And then about 75% of those are subconscious, right? And most of those subconscious thoughts are the same as the day before. And when we're sleeping, we're not conscious. It's the subconscious. So I've always thought to myself, when I'm sleeping, the brain is still working on the subconscious level. I have an opportunity to use that 7 hours to help reprogram the subconscious. And so I always have tried to make a practice of going. I mean, once I learned this, I fucking stopped falling asleep watching the TV. I'll tell you that, Jesus Christ. Because I was always, just like you're saying, the last thing I was watching, I was dreaming about. But then I started to realize, God, there's all of, like you're saying, so much of our lives are sleeping. I can actually use this time to my benefit. And so I started to kind of play with that a little bit. And I feel like I actually make a lot of progress with my subconscious programming, kind of reprogramming those subconscious thoughts that repeat themselves by putting my brain down the proper rabbit hole. Kind of like when I was talking about when I'm really focused on something, my thought process will take me into those dreams because I'm focused. I'm thinking about something that I'm like the different goals we talked about. So I guess the question is, this is something I believe, but I'm curious to know, is there, and you, of course, there are plenty of people that do believe this, but I would love to hear like somebody like yourself that's got a different perspective, maybe a different angle on dreams. Is my thought process off, or is there some validity to it?
No, there's definitely some validity to it as well. I think back to what
it's like 7 hours of free work every night.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a recalibration, isn't it? Like it's like going into the sauna or the cold plunge, but except for our subconscious and for the invisible and for our spirituality, for our spirit side of it. That's why on hour 1 I was talking about spirit, soul, and body. We're spiritual beings that live in a mind construct that lives in a body, and this 7 hours, 8 hours in the night season is really a chance for us to recalibrate that focus, to recalibrate that connection with that invisible influence in those elements. Because everything that we see here, from the computers and the smartphones we're talking into right now, to the lights in the studio, to the World Wide Web that we're on right now, all of this came from the unseen. It didn't start here in the physical. It came from the unseen. And that's where I like to say with that bridge for dreams is that, okay, everybody that is in the world right now has accepted that we live in this world that is that construct that we live in. But this construct came from an invisible influence, from a source at one point or another. And it's no different with our dreams. That recalibration that we're building in the night season, we can carry that back across into that bridge between spirituality and practicality. So yes, you're definitely in the right mindset, John.
Because I felt like once I started to do this, I would actually wake up and start to have epiphanies like, oh, son of a bitch. Like almost like problem solving was happening when I was sleeping. And then they would be revealed to me. Like, now what I do, I kind of take it to another level. So I'd still do this. But then when I get up, I call it my silent time, sitting in silence. I don't actually sit anymore. I lay. But I lay in silence. In some, it's like, this is almost like when the answers start coming to me from my sleep. I make the joke, I don't even know what questions to ask, but the answers are showing up. And I believe it comes from letting my brain work overnight.
Exactly. It's what I'm thinking about here is the Solomon principle. The Solomon principle. Solomon was one of the most famous kings that ever lived. He was called the wisest man who ever walked the planet. And Solomon had a calibration encounter in the night season, in the dream season, where God came to him and said, Solomon, ask for me whatever you wish, whatever you want, I will give it to you. And he could have asked for victory, military victories, could have asked for the death of his enemies, could have asked for wealth, long life, but he asked for wisdom. He asked for wisdom. He said, God, I want you to give me wisdom. And God said, you've asked a good thing. Because you have asked for this and not for all those other things, I'm going to give you all the rest, but I'm going to give you a wise and discerning heart. And what happened? We know history tells us and history shows us, proven fact, that Solomon, I would say he was the wisest man who ever walked the planet. His wisdom knew no bounds. He could tell you what a flower petal meant to a bug, to a centipede, to creation. Like he had that element, that calibration from the night season to the natural. And it was no different for him. And Solomon was a human being like we are. Why are we no different, right? And I just want to echo that and say I agree, John, with what you're saying. It really is an opportunity to calibrate and then just walk through that calibration in the waking hours, because it has to be practical. It has to be a bridge, because if it's no bridge, then it's just fluff, as Keith's talking about, referring to before. It's just fluff if there is no bridge. But when we are the bridge and we consciously choose to walk this out in our day-by-day lives, then this is when it becomes magic.
We're talking live with Keith, John, and Caleb right now on Mornings Alive with Keith, John, and Friends, a live morning show, getting up after every single day. We're doing dream interpretation with the dream catcher himself, not Genie, Caleb Matthews. John Anderson.
Because my early stages of this, right? So when I was working on becoming a pro strongman, there was the Atlas stones. That was an event where you're loading the stones up in the box. And I was having trouble with the technique. I was strong enough, but I kept screwing up the technique. To kind of summarize, I was grabbing it too low when I needed to grab the stone over the top. But it just, for whatever reason, I kept grabbing it too low. So I was like, okay, you know, I was thinking about it before I was going to bed, right? And I dreamt about literally doing the stone and I was like, for some reason, it felt like I was swimming. I'd pull it in my lap and I'd swim, boom, boom, and up it would go. And the next training day, it fucking happened. And I never started making that mistake was gone.
Visualization and action there, isn't it, John?
It was like I was thinking about the mistake, knowing what I was doing wrong, dreamt about it, and it was gone. Like that problem just left.
Yeah.
Boom. That's great.
Hey, Caleb, so I got some additional questions from the comments I want to keep getting to. This is a great conversation, great interaction with the community right now. Sheik, I see your comment. Your question I'm going to get to in a quick second, but I got a question for Sheik. Hey, Sheik, I'm sorry, I got a question for Caleb. You've interpreted dreams for 20 years. You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Has anyone that you've met at either an offsite or online or somebody in your journey ever dreamt about you, and has it weirded you out?
My family, of course, first and foremost, my inner circle, we dream of each other a lot, because oftentimes God will come to us in a form that we recognize and does not overwhelm us in our night season. And first and foremost, my family will dream of me, and I'll dream of them many times. I'll have friends or people that I went to school with that will dream of me as well. I can't say that it ever weirded me out. In fact, it really encouraged me, because if I'm showing up in their dreams, then that means that Spirit, God, is speaking to them in a way where I'm just an instrument. I'm a construct.
Like a positive influence.
There you go.
Positive
Brother,
influence. So
that's, I'm sorry to interrupt, but okay, so check this out. Keith doesn't dream about me. He thinks about me in the shower, and he's admitted that. So I was like, you know what? It's just, I'm a positive influence.
You just take it in, Anderson. Just take it with you, brother.
Yeah. And I said, as long as you're holding the soap and not your stuff, I'm fine with this.
I'm not holding the catcher's mitt, Johnny. I'm holding the base. I'm holding the bat instead. Hey, so we got a question. Listen, in a couple of seconds, I'm going to get to why you don't want to crush a cockroach. But before we do that, hey, Caleb, another question from Chic Bait. Why do the rooms?
Hold on. Can we figure out if this is chick bait or chic bait, please?
well, I had a call with
Caleb.
Chic.
How do you interpret that? See it on.
Well,
I'm saying his name. The way it says CHIC. How do you interpret that spelling? Chic or chick?
Well, see, if that was coming to me in a dream, my interpretation would be a whole lot different than it is just looking at something naturally.
Thank you. So right now, what is it?
Is it spelled chic, like an iron chic? Is that how it's spelled?
No, CHICBATE. To me, that looks like chick bait.
No, that totally does. I was gonna say if it's spelled like the Iron Sheik, I would say, all right, I got this whole.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, so you grew up in the wrestling culture as well, Caleb. That's awesome. And see, Johnny, we always can sprinkle in the wrestling culture. The dude's talking Iron Sheik. You grew up with AWA wrestling.
Well, you know the fucking crazy thing is you guys know more about wrestling history than I do, and I was a fucking pro wrestler for 7 years.
Well, because Johnny, the Iron Sheik, I think just toured started in Canada. I think he just did all the shit in Canada. He did all the house shows across Canada, John Anderson, which was the Iron Cheek. But it actually, so it's not chick. It's like cheek. So like cheek bait, except it's CHIC. So it'd be like, oh, that's kind of chic. It's like chic.
Well, how does he? It's his decision. How does he want it to be?
Who do you want to be? All right, let's get some
Are we
motivation.
debating how we're going to pronounce Cheek Bait's name? And it was Cheek Bait Wonders. And Johnny
It says her. Okay, he just said her. It's a
Yeah.
female.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a she. Okay.
Yes.
Forgive me,
Yes.
sister. I didn't know that. So now fill us in. It says is the fact. I have to explain it. I missed that. I'm not tracking that.
So let's get back on track here. What does it mean? What does it mean if yes, Global says you'll be dreaming this conflict tonight. So chick or cheek or however you want to pronounce the name. What does it mean when the rooms in the house change stairs and so why do the rooms in the houses I dream about change stairs and rooms? In other words, just things are changing. Just kind of paraphrasing.
Yeah, the environment's changing, and I would say it's just it's a self-conditioning,
Yes.
self-conditioning encouragement, awareness that your environment could be changing in your present life, or maybe areas in a dreamer's past that they're dreaming about, the history that they've walked through. That elements changed.
Yes.
And as those elements change, you have to adapt with those elements, whether it means going up, whether it means going down. Going down usually means delving deep into something, like really digging deep into the core of being. It means like going underneath the surface. It could be an encouragement as environment changes to go underneath the surface and to not shy away from the changing environment, and just to reinvent yourself like on the fly. Like that's something that, as I was tapping into here in the room here this mornings in the lab, your previous guest, you were talking about reinventing or entrepreneurship. It could be like an encouragement to reinvent oneself within their business, within their construct of their house of thought, because within that house, and by doing that, that will bring success and will bring growth moving forward.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is great. Damn it, this is really cool. I've never said this story here, but this is always something I've really wondered about. And I think you're such the perfect person to ask this question. So when I was a kid, my childhood house, right? I lived there till I was 6 or 7. And I used to have this reoccurring nightmare. And I would always, it was downstairs. So I'd run up and I would go get in bed with my mom, like scared to death, like running as fast as I could. She said I would sometimes jump on the bed and like land on her and like hurt her. That's how freaked out I was. Like really. And I would get under the covers. And anyway, this reoccurring dream was this old lady who was under my bed. And so basically, I would wake up and I would know she was there. And of course, I was scared. So I would run. And it was kind of the staircase where I had to go up and run. And when I was coming around that corner, she could reach through the slat. So, I mean, it was vivid, like to where I knew if I didn't get enough lead on her going down the hallway, that if I was coming around that final part, her hands were going to be where I could reach them for my legs. So we moved and this just stopped. And years later, my mom told me that we bought the house from a family who an old lady had died in that room. Was that really, I mean, do you think there was some connection there?
But you're thinking ghosts and spirits, aren't you, Johnny?
I didn't know. I mean, I feel like as I get older, I feel like when a mentor dies, I feel like, of course I miss them physically, but I feel like I actually have better communication with them after they're gone, because I can talk to them every day. When they're here, it's not the same. I only really get communication when I'm with them.
Yeah, I like that you brought this to the table, because this is something that I believe with all the core of my belief and my being, and this is a topic I love to talk about.
Love this.
And that is that we live in a spiritual world, not just the natural world. There is a spiritual world.
Or maybe we're living in a simulation.
Yeah, or maybe a matrix simulation, and this is just the appetizer, and the main thing is actually in the invisible world. Like,
Yeah.
The Matrix was onto something. Inception was onto something.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about here, John, is I do believe that there are angels as much as there are demonic powers. There are forces of light as much as there are forces of darkness.
Yes.
And there are spirits. It says in Ephesians that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers and principalities. Like there are invisible influences on the world. Hence, why else would the world be the way it is? The goodness in the world, the evil that's in the world. That there are things in the invisible realm, and I do believe that that is connected. You're talking about that the fact that somebody died there, and then you dreamed about it. Well, your spiritual dish and your antenna is so infrequently tuned, even as a young person developing that you're tuning into what's there. That's one element. Another element I was going to ask you is within your grandma's side of the family, was there any spiritual background there? I'm really interested to hear about that.
Which side?
Could be either side. Doesn't matter.
That's a good question. I would say that there was some, probably. I mean, it's hard to know because there's. I think what I think I believe about them is they were more religious rather than spiritual.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep, that's perfect. That's
but keep in mind when I was, I wasn't really old enough to have conversations with them to understand if that religion led to a deeper part, which would be the spiritual side of it. But yeah, I don't know. But one thing I forgot to add was that lady, the old lady that died I guess she was a pretty angry old lady. She was not happy she was dying. So she died angry.
Oh,
yeah,
because now I think to myself, because I remember I asked my mom years later, I said, well, maybe my interpretation was wrong. Maybe she was actually just laying under there, like laying with me, protecting me. And she said, that could be. She said, but from what we understand, she was having a tough time and she was pretty angry and she died, which that kind of made sense,
Yeah, the connotation is important. I would say the element of anger being built into trying to grab you, like that to me doesn't look like at least a positive interaction there. But what I would say, the redemptive part, because there's always redemption in dream interpretation. There's always redemption. The redemptive part of this is, I believe that even as a young boy, that you're becoming aware of this dynamic in the spiritual, and also that there are elements within the family lineage that may try to stop you from your spiritual walk that you're shaking off. And you see,
my mom on that level, brother, my mom, yes, about grandma, but my mom, very fucking deep, very, I mean, she has been on a spiritual journey her whole life. That's where I think because I've had so many conversations about not religion, but kind of the layers down with my mom. But you'd asked about my grandma, so I didn't speak of my mom.
For sure, no, it's fine. But within the family lineage, I think that there's a redemptive spiritual gift to walk in, and of course there is the opposite, which is what they wants to pull you away from. And I think obviously the realm of darkness does not play fair. It tries to pull us away from our destiny and our path. But for you, you're walking towards your path, especially with your mom, but your path of walking in your spirituality, your walk with higher power, that those elements are trying to stop you from. But I just think you're just becoming aware of that and moving in that. But there's something special there within your walk.
Because I kind of as I got older, I realized, okay, when I was a kid, I hadn't been jaded. My channels were still open. Most of us are, but they kind of get turned off by, other people telling us what's possible and what's not. Yeah. And so I felt like, because I in general, I think I'm more of a spiritual person than most. And I think that, I think I got a taste that early. I think that may have been part of what kept me open as I grew up.
Yeah, and the grabbing towards it was grabbing your foot, right? The woman was grabbing your
just reaching through the slats,
for your foot though, right?
Foot, ankle, something. Yeah.
So that's key, because in dreams we ask ourselves, why foot and not an arm? Why not the neck? Why not the head?
Because she couldn't. She was low enough. She couldn't get up that high. I was up right. One flight.
Yeah, there's that element, but I'm saying our foot is our walk with the spirit.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's our physical.
It's a symbol.
It's a symbol of our physical and spiritual walk with our spirituality. Anyways,
okay.
We're talking live right now with our guest Caleb Matthews, the founder of C-Link, with myself and John Anderson, every single day, 8:00 Eastern time, live right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, and Substack called Mornington Live with Keith, John, and Friends. I want to do a reset here, Johnny. I know no time's coming up on you here, but before I do walk you out, Johnny, since I've met you, we've been spending a lot of time talking about, and you've taught me about responding instead of reacting. And you've really encouraged me to be responsive instead of reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us encounter insects in our life, like cockroaches.
Here we go, the cockroach. Okay.
And I found this quite fascinating because this is a wonderful metaphor for reacting instead of responding.
Yeah.
When we see a cockroach, what we want to do is we want to kill that motherfucker. It feels good. It's satisfying. It's like, okay, I killed it. That would be your reaction, John, or your response.
That's a reaction.
Exactly. If you react, what happens is that you kill it, you spread pathogens all over the place, you release signals, you release smells. While it's satisfying to you, what actually happens is you attract more cockroaches to the situation. So if you don't react and you respond instead, you actually will fix the situation. I thought it was a perfect metaphor.
No, it really is. It really is, because you attract more, you react, you get people because people that respond don't stick around people that react.
I thought it was so awesome because it feels so good to kill that dirty thing in front of you. Like, I got to kill it. And then you're like, why the fuck is there more around here? It's the same thing in an argument or in a situation where Caleb might say something, I react, I get all fucking out of sorts, and Caleb's like, okay, well, I'm fucking walking. And it just doesn't, right? So I thought it was a good analogy, which is
very good.
Never stop.
I like the part about attracting more. That's the part. That's the lesson to it, right there.
Yes, I thought the same thing, Anderson. So I wanted to put that out there because while it feels satisfying, just like when you yell at somebody or you react to somebody because they poked your button, more than likely not the right.
Well, let's back up. I don't think if you think it's satisfying to yell at someone, you got to rethink what's satisfying.
I agree, brother. I agree. But I'm using my own experiences and just some of the experience we've had in life. But that sometimes when we, unfortunately react, it's not a positive situation. So guys, never crush a cockroach, man. There's nothing positive about it. And I thought I could weave that into our conversation this morning with Caleb and John. Johnny, you gonna get out of here, brother? What a good conversation. Caleb, stick around for a few minutes, bro. And we're gonna walk Johnny out, and Caleb, you stick around with me. John, what an awesome conversation with Caleb.
I say, Caleb, you're a rock star of a guest, man.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Yeah. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Anderson out of here. We'll keep the show going with myself and Caleb. We'll wrap up here with some little bit more questions from the community with myself and Caleb Matthews. Johnny, love you, brother.
Have a great loop. Love you too, my brother. Caleb, absolute pleasure, man. Look forward to seeing you again soon, hopefully.
Sounds good. We'll follow each other. Cheers.
Right on. You got it.
All right, guys. You got myself, Keith Billis. Mornings Alive with Keith, John, and friends. We still got our guest, Caleb Matthews, here. We're going to wrap up with a couple more questions with Caleb before we get him out of here. Caleb, you've been awesome, man. Dude, just dropping nuggets for the whole. I did not expect. Jimmy, Melissa, this might be one of our longest standing guests, actually. Yeah, like you've been just nugget after nugget. The community's been just tossing stuff our way here. So, I'm trying to, let me just see here. There might be a couple more questions I can throw at you here from the community. I'm going to throw one more question here for you, okay? And then we'll keep it rolling here. I dreamt as a kid roller skating up a hill like a fairy tale old witch baking a pie, but it wasn't a hill. I'd wake up on the floor because it was a cliff. I had that dream several times. And maybe let's just play with this one. We often will have these really weird, ridiculous dreams that mean nothing. But what do they mean, Caleb?
Well, even the dreams, and I'm gonna intercept what you just said there because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
And that is the dreams that we might think are silly or ridiculous oftentimes have the most weight and the meaning to them, because dreams are a parable. It's like Chronicles of Narnia, right? Like if you saw Chronicles of Narnia playing out in front of you in day by day life, you think, what kind of acid trip is this? But it's a story. There's actually a story behind it. There's a story behind Lord of the Rings. You get my drift. Behind this, we find roller skating and baking a pie and going up a hill. There's an acceleration within the dreamer that they are cooking something up. They are baking something up in their individual acceleration and their walk in life. and that something is brewing, something is coming out of the oven, so to speak, that could be a gifting, could be another business opportunity, could be new developments within relationships or within growth within that dreamer themselves, spirit, soul, and body. But there's something baking, there's something cooking. And as they ascend the hill, as they get up to a higher perspective, then there is more perspective from their higher power, from spirit, from God, right?
I love that. I love that. Well said, my brother. All right. I got one closing question for you. It's a heavy one. It's a big one, but I saved it for the last because it's about you. You've spent 20 years helping people see the link between their dreams and their destiny and helping. But Caleb, let's take a moment to flip this to yourself. What's the one dream, the one vision that you've had your entire life, Caleb Matthews, that you're still chasing? What's the link that you're still trying to see for yourself? And as a spiritual strategist, how do you deal with this when in your own seasons of confusion as you go through life, trying to help others while at the same time trying to achieve your own dreams? Caleb Matthews.
I love that. I love how we're getting into personal application here at the end. The weightiest question of all at the end, which is practically walking that out ourselves. For me, the dream has always been to be able to speak to the multitudes, to speak to thousands, to speak to millions. I have dreams from a very young age of talking to crowds of people, to inspire them, to lift them up. And sometimes there are seasons, like when I was in 10 years in the corporate world, where I had to work in the corporate world for 10 years to experience that element. And I wasn't speaking to multitudes online or on podcasts or in public speaking sessions, but I had to take a time out from that to be able to navigate through that season. And for me, I've always stepped in front of the forefront in my mind and put that in front of me that I've got a calling here. I have a calling to reach as many people as I can for the kingdom of light, that people would see the link in their individual destiny to reach the purpose to which they've been created by God. And for me to be light and life to them, to release that breath of God, that kadosh ruach yah, that breath of God into people's life. And that's what I'm supposed to do, to point the way towards not just this world, but the invisible world of the one that is to come, heaven, towards the eternal realm, towards being at peace with God in whatever way that looks like for individuals. But that to me has been the dream, to inspire people that, you know what, this life is just a pit stop along the way. It's not the end. And that to me has always been the forefront of my mind, to reach as many people across many nations as I can. But sometimes when you're in the trenches and you're in the you're in the corporate world season, or in the getting your hands dirty and wet, or you're in the monk mode season of just creating content off alone somewhere, that dream can almost feel like far off. But to constantly put that in front of me, that those dreams I've had in the night season are meant to manifest, and to not to be discouraged, but to continually walk it out, because it's a process. In our Western culture, we often try to rush things, to be like, oh, you gotta get things done on this timetable and that time deadline. Well, no, this is a process. Life is a great flower to be unveiled. And in the words of one of my late mentors, he often encouraged me in this matter. He said, don't forget to smell the flowers and the fragrance along the way. Don't get caught up with the finish line. Don't get caught up with the destination, but the journey. Enjoy the fragrance of your own individual journey, because it's going to be unique to you, just like it's unique to everybody else listening to this show right now. And I want to encourage you, if you've liked what you've heard today from me, from here on the Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, you can follow me on YouTube. So if you're like, okay, I have to follow this guy, YouTube at the C-Link. You can follow me more there. Hit subscribe. I'd love for you to follow on my journey. I have lots of motivational content, including about dreams, history speaks, the DNA of your design, the SSB method, and more content for you to inspire you in your individual walk. But yeah, that's what I keep in front of me, man.
I love that. Sheik Bait's going to follow you. You know what we're going to do, my brother? YouTube just launched collaborations last week. So we're going to take this show And when it's published, we're going to collaborate with you on the back end. So we'll have this show collaborate with iSeek. Please, what's it called?
It's at the C-Link. So the
C-Link,
at sign,
yes.
and then the C-Link, I put it there in the comments, but just basically at sign, and then the, and then SEE, and then LIN.
We got Melissa in the comments there promoting that free, which is awesome. And I lied. There's one more question from the community. Would you have time to take it?
Yes, I do. I've got all the time in the world.
Let's do it. John Petrocelli comes back and says, our resident, the bullshit professor comes and says, is Hebraic dream interpretation hot? Like fortune telling, where you gather a bit of information from the individual first? Or is it cold, like astrological horoscopes?
What I would answer to that is going to be that you're gathering information, so there's a hot element to it. So that's why I ask about what does spirituality mean to you. I ask a few questions about the context of the dream. But then there is those going in cold elements of, well, I like to say within my hot connection to my higher power within that Hebraic method, because my Hebraic method is I believe that dreams come from one source, from one God, one creator, one source, Jesus. Like that's my source, astrological astrology. And within that element, sometimes, many times actually, dream interpreters or psychics, they have many different sources. But for my source, it comes from one source. So within the Hebraic method, there is an element of that hot gathering some data, but there's also some of that going in cold, but still with that being in tune with your hot connection with God. And there's a mixture between that. I hope that answers the question.
I hope so as well. Caleb Matthews, the motivational speaker, the dream interpreter, the spiritual strategist. You can find him at the C-Link over on YouTube. This guy's got 20 years of international speaking. The guy started at 5. He's only 25 years old. Yeah, true story. He's got 32 years of studying Hebraic dream interpretation, and he successfully bridges both faith-based and secular audiences. I got to tell you, my friend, when you showed up today, did you dream you were going to have as much fun on the show today as I dreamt I was going to have with you today? This is awesome.
I figured it was going to be fun, but I'm always open to surprises, because if we're not open to surprises along the way, then we can limit our scope and limit our reach. And I just want to say, Keith, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for the invitation for Mornings in the Lab. I've had fun with you, with John, with the live audience. And I just want to leave the audience with these parting words. And that is, when you go to sleep tonight, keep a journal next to your bed. If you've never done this before, keep a dream journal next to your bed. Keep the pen next to your bed. And when you put your head on your pillow to sleep, in your own way, whatever way is best for you, in your own way, posture your heart, posture your spirit, put away the outside distractions, posture your heart and say, God, creator, higher power, spirit, energy, whatever your language is. I want to make sure it's customized to your language. But I'm going to say it this way. God, speak to me. Show me your blueprints. Show me the dreams that I need to be in sync with and synergized with, that are supposed to be revealed to me so I can decode them and walk in the full purpose to which I've been created. Do that before you go to sleep. Set aside a few moments. It's not about a few hours or any like religious duty or protocol. It's about the posture and the intention of the heart of your communion with God. Do that. And your Jacob's ladder, going up and down, will start to really accelerate and manifest in your life. But I leave you with that. And decree and declare to you that when you do that, the Jacob's ladder is going to open up and the dreams of God are going to come manifest in your life.
Caleb, I'm glad you brought up Jacob's ladder, because all you lazy motherfuckers out there, get to the gym and get on Jacob's ladder and climb it for 30 minutes. You'll feel good about yourself. Then you'll have a good dream tonight. Caleb, thanks for hanging out with us today, brother. Lots of love from me, from the eastern part of Canada, even though I'm in the middle, from me to you. And I want to have you back sometime again, okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it again. And I'll be definitely following you on the YouTube. I think I already have, but I'll follow you and John. And please reciprocate, and we'll do it together. And we'll support each other.
Let's do it. Thank you, Caleb Matthews.
Thanks, Keith.
Quick Nation, are you being nice to keep the peace, or are you kind enough to tell the truth? There's a difference. And today we're spotting that fine line between being the confident nice guy and being a pushover. This is the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner, where we connect YouTube, Substack, and LinkedIn. Keith, let's get after it. And I mean the stories, not the squirrels.
Boom, boom, boom. Holy smokes, was that fun? Fuck it. How about this? Holy fuck, was that awesome? That's a little more like the handsome chief. Caleb Matthews, whether you thought it was snake oil, whether you thought it was bullshit, whether you believed in it, it all doesn't matter. It was a wonderful conversation with a wonderful young man named Caleb Matthews that brought something that affects all of us. It's called a dream. So whether you are believing in dreams, whether you don't believe in dreams, I think we can all say this. Where there's love, there's hate. Where there's an angel, there's probably a demon. When we go to sleep, there's probably a dream. So why not have somebody who can help us interpret it? And like I said to Jacob, it's like I said to Jacob's ladder, like I said to Caleb when he was on the show, never, nation, never justify your values. Never justify your beliefs. I don't want to hear it. Neither does the person across from you want to hear it. If you believe in something, be proud of it. Stand up, shoulders out, be confident. You believe in scripture? Read it. Somebody doesn't believe in it? Shut them out. Fuck them. You are who you are, 100% of you. Accept it, share it, spread it, and then get on Jacob's ladder and climb. That was fucking great, man. Caleb Matthews, you come back, man. You come back. And guys, all of you guys in the comments, I'm sorry that I have not had a chance to get to all of you guys here today. Hey, Bernard, our resident beekeeper. Thanks, brother, for hanging out with us this week. I always do. Hey, guys, looking for some honey? My honey's taken by me. My lovely Lauren, I love you, baby. But if you're looking for some actual honey, Bernard will help you out. Resident beekeeper himself, Bernard Artis. Go check out Bee Driven Equipment over on YouTube. He's got a honey subscription to help you get your honey set up. And if you guys are looking for somebody to help you with bullshit in life, a professor who can maybe cut through the crap, I introduce you to Dr. John Petrocelli. He's over there as well in the community. And hey, if you're looking for chic bait, she's here as well in the community. We got global. We got a bunch of great human beings in the community here today. We got global out there as well. We got good time out there as well. If you're looking for some good time, Charlie, we got good time out there hanging out with us. And I know a lot of you guys are out there that I'm probably missing your names. And I'm doing the best that I can with my itchy eye. All right. No squirrels here. Let's get in front of us. Let's get into this. YouTube. Stop being nice. Start being kind. Yep. Jefferson Fisher, probably known as Jeff. Hey, Jeff, what's shaking? Says most of us confuse being nice with being kind. Well, nice keeps the peace, but kind tells the truth. I know somebody who's kind. I know one of the kindest guys on the planet. His name, Matt Roof. What's he do? He hosts a morning show right here on the network. It's called Kindness Rising, 7:30 Eastern time. You know, I know Matt likes to keep the peace, but it's his kindness that drew me to him. It's the kindness that allowed me to know his truth. And yeah, there is an absolute big difference. As the person we're celebrating and talking about, Jefferson Fisher says, he argues that people pleasing is slow self-erasure. Sure, no problem. Yeah, that passive aggressive, yeah, just no problem. Yeah, sure. Yeah. It chips away at your self-respect. Think about it. Right? That's how I opened it up. If you're not proud of who you are, come on. I'm fucking proud of who I am. I put myself out there. It's who I am. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. True story. But Fisher goes on to give practical tools to fix people that are being too nice. Here you go. Start your boundaries with a clear no, not a 10-minute TED talk of excuses. Oh, man. Melissa, did you really put that in front of me? The TED talk? You want me to rant on TED talks? I know a lot of people are proud of their TED talks. I know. I get it. I understand it. Yeah. Sometimes silence speaks wonders, doesn't it? Sometimes silence speaks volumes, doesn't it? But hey, don't start your boundaries with a clear no, not that 10-minute TED talk. That doesn't work. So if you talk to me that way again, this conversation is over. That might work. No drama, no hostility, just calm firmness and confidence. So nation, I got a question for you. When was the last time you said no without apologizing for it? When was the last time? Don't apologize for no. No is yours. No, own the no. No is yours. Own it. Don't apologize for it. Get after it. Guys, you spent some time on Substack lately? Looking at Mike Sullivan's comments, he was on the treadmill yesterday. Fucking right to her, Sully. I love it. Get that moving, buddy. Watching the show earlier, amazing experience. I killed 2 roaches with 1 stone. Sully, dude, you're supposed to listen to the show, man. You don't kill fucking roaches. That doesn't work. No, true story. Chic Bait, you don't love this show. You keep coming back. I'm sorry, you don't hate this show. You love this show. Dude, you're a good typer. Yeah, 100%. All right, let's spend some time over on Substack right now. On Substack, the Lee Edwards Journal reminds us that emotional intelligence is a powerful skill, but it comes with responsibility. You know, it took me almost 30, maybe 36, 38 years to figure out emotional intelligence. Oh, fuck. Petro, I was not emotionally intelligent. Good time, not emotionally intelligent. Nope. Sorry to say it, just ask some of the few people in my former life. Yep, true motherfucking story. Thousands of dollars later, therapy later, a lot of hours looking in my own mirror taught me about emotional intelligence. Then what it also taught me, just like the Lee Edwards Journal, is that when leaders get good at reading people, it's easier to steer conversations instead of helping everyone participate in them. Lee calls this the difference between influence and manipulation. Oh yeah. Yep. His invitation to emotionally intelligent leaders is to always practice awareness over agenda. Man, when you can create awareness over yourself, when you know you're a douchebag, magic happens. So, here's the invitation for you guys. If you're a douchebag, go look in the mirror and admit it. Use your emotional intelligence. Yes, not to control outcomes, but to build those outstanding and understanding the connections. Because here's what I learned, guys. Here's the reality. When you respond with awareness instead of assumptions, and the need to control team conversations can lead to better results for everyone. So here's the question. What's a dead giveaway sign you've noticed that people use to steer conversations? Drop it in the comments. I see the doctor hanging out in the green room. We're going to bring him up in a few minutes. The doctor himself, the bullshit doctor, Dr. John Petrocelli, coming up here in a couple minutes. Awesome. We're going to break down what he learned this week in the lab, listening on the other side of the coin. I'm suspecting he's got something to say about our Dreamcatcher guy. And I know he's going to be kind. But guys, over on LinkedIn, forget balance and find harmony. Actually, I think I had some stuff for LinkedIn today. Yeah, I think I didn't get to it. Here's a good one for everyone still chasing that elusive work-life balance. Nope, not going here. Nope. Sorry, Melissa. There's no fucking such thing as work-life balance. Is Dr. Graham, Dr. Graham, get on the show. Yeah. Yep. Dr. Graham over on LinkedIn says, we need to stop trying to make life a 50-50 split. I know. I agree. It's a setup for guilt and burnout. Instead, aim for harmony. Find your rhythm. I agree with Dr. Graham. Okay, good. Okay, good. I thought he was telling us that we got to have work-life balance. I was about to fucking leave the show. But I'm glad that Dr. Graham is drinking the same Kool-Aid we're drinking. Identify your peaks for deep work and your valleys for recovery. I like to call them levers. Ask Melissa. Just pulling levers. Find rhythm and pull levers. A lever over here, a lever over there. Sometimes just things fall through the cracks. But they're actually not falling through the cracks. You pulled a different lever, right, which helps you move in a certain direction. Build those adaptive boundaries around your priorities, not those rigid walls. Pull a lever. When you pull a lever over here, it's going to affect the lever over here. You can't deny that. It's how you learn to interpret it is how you'll win, right? So build those adaptive boundaries. Take 60 seconds before switching tasks. It's those small habits that will prevent overwhelm. And harmony isn't about working less. It's about working in tune. All right, Maya, let's wrap it up. I know we got the doctor hanging out with us. Maya, let's close it up.
All right, nation, here are the takeaways. Kind beats nice. Use awareness, not agenda. If you're steering the room, stop talking and listen.
And say screw it to balance. Create harmony.
Want your story featured in the community corner? Tag us in your next post.
You hear that?
Yeah, sounds like the bullshit detector's going off again.
That can only mean one thing. The bullshit professor's here.
Gotta suit up, it's bullshit-proof mode today.
Yeah, the professor's not letting anything slide.
Think this gear works against each other?
I love it. Sterling and Preston introducing the resident bullshit professor himself. I was eager to have you here today, brother. I knew we had a dream catcher. I saw your comments, and I'm like, all right. And Hope, Maya, I didn't know you can sing. I didn't know fucking Maya Reyes sings. Look at that picture. We got Maya singing. We got Sterling and Preston bringing you in. The world's going to a hell in a handbasket. Our resident bullshit professor himself, Dr. John Petrocelli. Hey, Petro, before we get into what we're talking about today, how about the Blue Jays, man? They fucking got back at it yesterday. Holy smokes. I know. So first of all, how are you, brother? How's the week been? How have you been in the last week, pal? Yeah? Did you run today? Did you run? I ran today. I'll tell you something. I was thinking about you running today because I haven't. So I don't know. This last week's been kind of a fucked up week. And I missed a couple runs this week. Dude, I sucked on the run today. I was sucking wind. I was thinking about you. I'm thinking, fuck, man. I wonder if Petro's going for his run today because I know John's not here, but I was hating every second of it. Yes. Oh, John, I think you're muted on the vertical, John. John, you're muted on vertical, brother. Yeah, you are. You're muted.
Okay, how about
that?
I
think you're muted on horizontal as well. Yeah, you're muted on both.
Here we go. How's that? No? Mute mic.
Oh. We got Don Jocks Petrocelli with us right now.
Yeah, how about that?
Is that better, guys? Jimmy?
Yeah. Should be in. It says unmute.
All good now. Yeah, you're all good now. You're good now. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just saying, yeah, you got to do it at least once a week, or you're going to feel it. Two weeks, 3 weeks go by, you get cardio hits you hard when you're hitting.
I cycle. So I lift daily, and I intersect I run twice a week, and I cycle 5 to 7 days a week, right? But I missed my run over the last 7 days, and I got on it today, and dude, I was not enjoying it, to say the least. I'll just say that.
Yeah, if you don't, the cardio just slips quickly. I don't know, at least for me. But
yeah.
So
what did you think?
Hey, yeah, great set of shows this week. Very thought provoking and a lot of fun, actually. A lot today. I know you think I probably had a lot of reactions to today, which I certainly did. But
yes,
I agree with you. It's certainly fun to consider.
Yes,
it is. Dream interpretation and dream journaling can be a lot of fun.
But as a man of science, I'm going to help you here. But as a man of science here, I know that there are some struggles that we have as scientists. And I'm using we because sometimes I struggle with it too, right? I'm open to, because I'm all about discourse and learning and being curious, like I know you are. Any good scientist is curious, but then any good scientist also puts up some guarded walls and has some skepticism, John Petrocelli.
Yeah, the walls, I would call them evidence.
Yes, thank you.
So
yes.
Certainly, yeah. Any good scientist is going to be open-minded as to the possibilities of really anything. But at the end of the day, is there observable, measurable evidence to support it? Is there and coming from a lot of different angles or multiple angles, is there a consilience of induction? What we mean by that is there are independent lines of inquiry coming to the same conclusion?
In other words, if I can simplify, I'm thinking what you're saying. In other words, proof.
Yeah, or evidence in support of.
Evidence in support of.
Help. Is the claim supported by something observable, measurable,
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are really the walls. But yeah, certainly I think with dream interpretation and journaling, it can be great for idea generation and motivation as well, because they're mental simulations of alternatives to reality. At the end of the day, I mean, we know they're not real. That's how we know that. Through reality monitoring, we know if something's real as to whether or not, we're actually experiencing it versus whether we thought it or we dreamt it or someone mentioned something to us. So they can be motivating in that way because they kind of let us see possibilities that are not real. But
yet you keep using the word real, Petro, and I could challenge you that we might have some difficulty defining what real is. We might be living in a simulation right now, which what might be real in a simulated environment, but not real in the environment we're living in right now. So maybe the definition of reality is what is in construct.
Yeah, I'm thinking in contrast to a dream, though. So
Gotcha.
you know that
Okay.
if you know that, okay, for a fact, this mental representation that I have, this memory was actually there from a dream or something that I actually experienced. Most people know that, okay, well, the dream didn't actually occur.
Yes.
It's in contrast to an actual experience.
I'll tell you a dream that I did not have yesterday, just to put some current events on the table, and I know you can relate to this one, is that the world lost a legend last night. Ace Frehley passed yesterday. That was not a dream. And I suspect, Petro, over the next few years, you and I are going to be losing some of our icons over time because they're all getting older, aren't they?
That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's like the large majority of them are. So we'll probably see. Yeah, I actually learned about that through Google Trends. I clicked on Google Trends last night, and that's how I learned that Ace Frehley we had lost. I guess. Passed. Yeah, within the hour that I drove home from listening to Ozzy's Boneyard. They weren't talking about Ace Frehley when I was driving home, 5, 6 o'clock, and then Google Trends, I think about 8 o'clock, I logged on there, and that was the number one most searched term was Ace Frehley. Yeah. So within those 2 short hours, I guess we lost them. But yeah, I think that's going to happen more and more.
No dreaming happening there. What else did you find exciting this week? What else happened in your world this week, my brother?
Oh man, I guess this goes. This would be a competitor with dream interpretation, but Sora is still taking over my a couple of my extra hours each week.
I'm loving it.
Those are also mental simulations to alternatives to reality.
Yes,
I think, they can be just as motivating. So yeah, I've been exploring all kinds of things that I would never do. Like hang gliding, for instance, or freestyle rock climbing with no ropes. I would never do these things ever, but it's interesting to see myself in these.
It is so awesome. I log into Sora yesterday, Nation, and I see Petro. I think he was hand gliding yesterday. Actually, and he looked up and there was a plane flying overhead. And no. The first time I saw Petro yesterday in the middle of the day, he was solo climbing. Hey, good time. I know you're on Sora. We'd love to see you doing some solo climbing as well. And Tom Ritchie, there's Petro. They're doing some free climbing out there, which is pretty cool. It's I'm with you, man. It's an addictive, fun experience.
Yeah, I think, and I do think that there's probably a whole career worth of experimental studies right there, because we know from mental simulation, from things to studying word lists to shooting basketballs from free throws, if you mentally simulate these types of behaviors over and over again, you're more likely to actually try them. But performance also improves just from the mental simulation. Now, I'm not saying that that beats practicing shooting foul shots from the foul line, but it has been shown, and it's easy to replicate the effect. Mentally simulating the behavior can increase the likelihood and the performance. But I think Sora is, it's like mental simulation on steroids, because you can see yourself doing these things. And now I can see, I'm contemplating things again now that I probably still won't do, but I'm actually much more likely to try them. And it's also, I think, a way of kind of experimenting, if not a real blast and of laughter too, to see yourself in these things. So that's just, so I can imagine within a year or two we'll start seeing empirical papers using Sora or apps like it to as a motivational tool.
So on what you're talking about, and what I'm going to say next, most won't be able to wrap their head around. So forgive me for what I'm going to say next. Maybe you will be able. I suspect you're going to be able to. So we have been continuing to watch media change. So here's what I mean by this. So, the world of AI started with what? Text, right? Okay. Text generators, text. Then we went from text to what? Images. Okay. Images ever easy to make images ever. Proliferation of images. Now video is the low entry mark. Everybody can make, my mom can make videos. Everybody can make videos. The next evolution, brother, is where we step into them.
Oh yeah.
Do you follow me?
Oh, absolutely.
So a multi-dimensional. So when Zuckerberg was talking 3 years ago about the metaverse, what he missed was the AI phase, which was well, we need worlds to get into before we can have a metaverse. So right now, so if you think about the universes, we got Sophia Grant, we got Maya, we got Sterling and Preston. We're creating the Mornings in the Lab universe that in 6 to 12 months from now, we'll be able to step inside of it.
Yep.
So not just a dimension of looking, we'll be able to be in. So Keith and John Petra will be in a world together. And I know people have a hard time wrapping heads around that, but that's the direction it's heading. All you got to do is look at Google's Genie, their next version of it, which is going to be out in a few months from now. They're already rocking with that.
Yeah, and I think I see the same thing happening, but I'm speculating that this has been going on mentally.
Yes.
Through imagination for centuries. That
yes,
as long as we know that people have a mental capacity to imagine alternatives to reality, and they are often used actually in Adlerian style therapy, or even Gestalt therapy. A common technique in those therapies is to basically put yourself in a situation maybe that hasn't occurred. They often call it finishing business. Like everyone has unfinished business. Maybe they have someone in their past that they had conflicts with, and maybe the person passed away, and you can no longer speak with them. But so a common technique is to ask people to kind of imagine themselves having that conversation. And it's shown is that you can finish, at least mentally, some of that business by kind of simulating the conversation, kind of thinking about, well, what would they say? But now you've got this tool kind of emerging that makes it more real. And I think, again, a lot of these techniques will sort of be on steroids, because it's doing it in terms of your imagination. Okay, it's just all in my head, but to kind of see it play out like you would see a movie, from that view, it gives you a different perspective. It takes like the first person into the third person. Most people, if you ask people to say like, okay, well, can you remember the most impactful kind of memory from your earliest childhood? Can you think of something that happened from your earliest child? What's your earliest childhood memory?
Yeah.
And you ask them, okay, well, how do you see that? Do you see it like from the first person view? You see it from the third person view, like in a movie. And then usually what you find is if they view it from the third person, like from a movie, then they realize, okay, I probably reconstructed that to some degree, because that's not how you experience life. You see your eyes. You don't see yourself like you see yourself in a mirror. But that doesn't mean that from the third person it's not impactful, and that's why I think it can be primarily a major motivational tool to get people closer to what they want to accomplish.
And John, isn't that the purpose? And I don't want to get too far into this, but isn't that somewhat of the purpose of psilocybin, like magic mushrooms? Isn't that kind of a similar therapy when we, and I've never tried that. I'm not sure if you have. I've done mushrooms in my life, but I've never done therapy. I've never gone through therapy in that situation. I've gone with my buddies and crushed a bag of mushrooms and fucking got all zombed out. But is that not a mainstay of that type of therapy, which is revisiting your past?
I'm not sure. I think it could
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if that's what it's being used for.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to get to mental simulation, and I do think that if you think about things long enough, it will sort of enter your dreams. You know, the things that you think about, day to day, or maybe you didn't have enough time to think about, they will enter that rapid eye movement sleep, which occurs. It's we might sleep 1/3 of our lives, but we're not dreaming 1/3 of our lives. So it's
fascinating, man. It's all fascinating, and I love that you use the word recreate. I picked it up, and so did Sullivan, because he's like, fascinating talk. You can recreate lost loved ones. I love that you use that word recreate, because I don't think about it that way. That when I'm dreaming, if I'm drinking, or if I'm thinking about something in a third POV, you're right. I've created in my head. Yeah. I mean, it's because we don't see.
You allow yourself. Yeah, you allow yourself. Yeah. You allow yourself to do that. I mean, your mind can go.
Yeah.
Infinite number of ways, and I think there's the inhibitors or the distractors that we put in place for daily thought, our self-talk that's going on even when we're not verbalizing our thoughts.
Yes.
The normal inhibitors and distractors are not there during sleep, and that's why you can get types of memories from your sleep experience that are sort of wild and not things that you would normally think about. So once you allow yourself to sort of kind of clear your mind and allow yourself to think about anything that comes to mind, boy, you get a lot of different things, and it's often very surprising.
What a wonderful chat with Dr. John Petrocelli this morning. We're going to work towards wrapping up. And yes, good time. I know I can make a video that says good time, says Charlie. And hey, if Petro can on Sora, so can Charlie. What's on the agenda today, mister? What do you got going on today?
Yeah, we didn't end up doing that Crowder Mountain last week.
You didn't
this weekend. But yeah, that's the big fun thing this week.
Okay, so are you officially saying then, my friend, that I can hold you accountable to this statement?
Oh, today? Oh, this weekend? The Crowder Mountain hike? Oh, yes. Yeah, you can hold me accountable to. Yeah, I got my Solomon trail running shoes ready outside, and ready to go.
Hey, have you ever thought about trying those? Arc'teryx has them, because I haven't hiked in a while, but I really enjoy hiking. I'm curious about trying those exoskeletons, and Arc'teryx has a set of them. You know what I'm talking about? Like they strap to your legs.
Oh no, that sounds pretty wild.
It is, yeah. So they're like assisted movement if you're going to go up like to trek something, right? So it helps, and they're not a full exosuit, just for your lower legs. That'll help power your legs up a mountain or something. So
yeah, a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. Well, listen, pal. Getting past my morning show end here. So I want to say thank you for hanging out with me this morning, as always. I want to say thank you for hanging out with me and having fun on Sora. I'm going to put some stuff over here later today with us. And I just want to say I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to have you in the community, and I'm grateful for all the value you continue to bring to me and the show and everybody. I appreciate your friendship, man. I really do.
Hey, Sam, feelings mutual. Hey, keep up the great show.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. All right, Dr. John Petrocelli, you guys. Jimmy, let's walk him out of here. I said I'm past my bedtime. Yeah. Wow. What a fun. Hey, Jimmy, Melissa, Rahima, can every day just be Friday? You know what this guy's John called Friday? The guy who's all about a loop. He's like, oh, it's a loop. But he's like, it's Friday. What the fuck, Johnny? Dude. Wow. What a fun show here today. I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. Cheek bait. Hanging out with us today for the full show. A lot of great comments and conversation from the Cheek. Appreciate you, Sheik. Good time, Global. Sullivan. Good time. Global. Sullivan. Bernard. Lady Drew. I know you're out there, Lady Drew, listening. Appreciate you. And Sheik, I appreciate you as well. Guys, I did not have any time to get to the phones today. Sorry. We just had a full packed show. But listen, here's how it works. So the Mornings in the Lab community is live when even we're not here. You can find us on one of our channels, and we're getting much better at spreading our love across the rest of the channels. You could find us over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, Substack, X, every channel possible, you'll find us there. But you'll only find us live at 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday, right here on YouTube. Yep. True motherfucking story. And over there on LinkedIn, and over there on X, and over there on Substack. And if you choose to receive the show on demand, well, it's on demand on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. But most importantly, if you're not here live, why the fuck not? Hey, Sheik Bait, I don't know when I can make it back, but nice to meet you all. I'm not sure why you won't come back, Sheik. I hope you'll come back on Monday. We'll be here on Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And oh yes, and you're right, Petro. We did manage not to talk about Little House on the Prairie this week. Hey, Petro, that could be some fun Sora stuff. Some Little House on the Prairie skits. You never know. You never know. Sheik, I'm a busy person. Yeah, well, so are we. So am I. We're all busy. But Sheik, I'm hoping you can find some time to come hang out with us and turn the old YouTuber on. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, and it's called Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and all of our friends. We got Melissa, we got Jimmy, we got Rahima, we got Patricia, we got Sullivan, we got Petrocelli, we got Good Time, we got Sheik Bait, we had Caleb Matthews. Yes, and thank you, Sheik, for telling all your friends. So, guys, I appreciate all of you guys. Peace, a lot of love from a lot of love from me to you. I always say this, and I'll say it one more time. You guys have a choice. You have a choice where you can spend your time. You have a choice where you can spend your time anywhere else. But many of you choose to spend your time with me, John, Marty, Melissa, Jimmy, the entire gang. And for that, as we end the week, I just want to say thank you. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one, nation.